A once upon a time felon, unashamed for Christ, forever saved. So I just woke up early in the morning, maybe like 5:30, right? And as I'm listening to the news, in two separate instances, two men, I believe in the Bronx if I'm not mistaken, but somewhere in New York, two men in two separate instances were shot in the head, right? And also in both instances, it was the suspects is men running around in scooters. So they didn't go into the age of how old the men were and whatnot, but just the fact that this happened, is concerning, and it's something that we should take note of. This happened to two of my friends in two separate instances. One was Leo in 1988, and the other one was Luca in 1991. The same fate. So, I say this because we just gotta pay attention, man. We gotta do a better job, and we gotta be aware of what we're getting ourselves into. And look, and let me say this as well. Anything can happen to anybody at any time. I'm not saying, I don't know what the circumstances was, but I'm just saying, man, that, depending who you connect with, who you put yourself around, the environment you put yourself around, and what your routine consists of, you don't have any idea what's going to happen, bro, if it's not correct. This is why I'm saying this right here, because, I make it a point to stick to my routine, man, for a very long time. And I'm not saying that can't happen to me, but, to come find me where I'm at, to do something like that to me, it gotta be like an act, it gotta be like an act of God at that point, man. But because it's in the middle of the night, these things are happening. And this is how it happens to my friend too, in the middle of the night, in the nighttime, when the sun goes down, when we're supposed to be in sleeping, getting ready for the next day. And I understand if you have a nighttime job and you work the overnight shift, okay, you sleep during the day, you work at night. But for the most part, man, when you come around the streets, bro, and when you hanging around street people, you got to make sure, man, you got to be aware, man. You got to be like, look, man, you got to pray, man. I remember when I was in the streets, bro, I was an early teenager, right? A teenager, going into my young adult years. I remember when I was in the street, knee deep in the street, bro, that I didn't know if I was going to make it back home that day. Because I would have this thought, man, damn, today might be the day that I might get it. This is the type of stuff that used to go through my head because I seen it happen to people very close to me, to friends very close to me. And it almost happened, and I would even walk away. So, thank God for his grace and mercy. But I remember telling myself, Jesus, protect me today when I'm leaving my house and I'm in the street, bro. I'm doing, I'm selling drugs. I'm going here, I'm going there. I'm picking up money. I'm dropping off. I'm re-upping. And I'm putting myself in situations, man, where anything could go down at any time. Because look, I'll give you for example, when it was a few times it was a drought. It was nothing nowhere. And we looking, we calling, we going around. And all of a sudden, because in the drought, the person that makes the most money is the person that was holding on to something, or the person that knew it was coming. So there would be people, right, that they must have been holding on to something, or they knew it was coming and they prepared for it. And all of a sudden the drought came and the bricks went from 13,005 to 20 to 24 to 27. And it would just get more expensive, right? And I remember during these times of these droughts, right? that they would be like, nah, there's nothing over here, bro. But look, bro, I'm gonna give you a number. Call this number, and they're gonna see you. They're gonna hit you up. You got the money. You got the money. I'd be like, yeah, I got the money. And it would be like 15, 16,000, 17 sometimes. You know, how it was money at that point. And I would go, man, I would walk into apartments, man, to cop, and I would have the money in my hand. I would have a gun on me, you know, walking into situations that I don't really know who's there. I don't know what's really gonna go down. And it's just the chances you take and the risk you take that you don't need to take. I didn't need to do that at that point. But it's just the greed, the sickness, because drug dealing is a sickness. I don't care what nobody says. But I will put myself in those situations, man, and I will come out of it, you know, with the work in my hand, with the drugs in my hand, and I will continue on with my business. But it just goes to show that, you know, you just not thinking. I could relate, man. When somebody's out there, man, I could relate to that, man. So, you know, this is why I share this. This is why I say this, man. Man, be careful, man. Especially the gentlemen and even your significant others, man, your girlfriends, man. Keep them away from all of that, man, because your family, man. I put my significant other in jeopardy. I put my family in jeopardy. I did things, man. This is why I'm on this, the way I'm on this right now. Because, you know, you got to pay attention, man. You really do, man. Jail is not simple. Early death is not simple. And why would you want to experience that when, you know, it's actually harder to work in the street as a hustler than it is to have a job. Way harder. Way harder. You know. And, you know, I'm glad I went the 9-to-5 route. And then I was able to think my way through and pray my way through everything else to get to that point. You know, to get to that point where you want to be settled and you want to be good. You know, it's a long time coming, a long road. But, you know, God is good. A once upon a time felon, unashamed for Christ, forever saved.